I've been doing the weird thing where I take a guy who's like third or fourth best odds Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, and it worked for me a couple times with Burns and a couple other guys. Parlay Kid, I think you've been doing about the same thing, but let's go over these odds to win the whole thing. John Rahm 12-1, Justin Thomas 13-1, Cam Smith 15-1, Dustin Johnson 15-1. Now Rahm, the last 4 years, 4th, 9th, 7th, and 5th. Cam Smith made the cut in all 5 of his Masters appearances, including 2 top 10s and a runner-up finish in 2020. Justin Thomas never missed the cut in 7 tries. He tied for 21st last year. And Dustin Johnson, of course, he missed the cut last year, right? But was 20 under in 2020. So, and then there's Tiger. He's going to do this. 50-1. Went down from 55-1. They'll show him hitting the fairway on a practice swing, and then that'll be it, right? It'll go down to 3-1 or something stupid like that. But there's a lot to talk about. I think we're going to pick one winner. We're going to pick one long shot. We're going to pick, what else do we have? We're going to go with our best bet value-wise to make or miss the cut, and then some miscellaneous picks, right? We got a lot going on here.
Yeah.
So let's get right to it. I'm going to go with Colin Morikawa. This is your guy, Parlay Kid. I know you've won with him, but I think you've lost with him too, right? Did you have that that
absolutely
overtime playoff? That was a crazy thing, right?
I had that.
Bri, you had that. That's right.
That sucked.
He's 22-1, 25 years old. Everyone I like in this tournament is 25 years old. He tied for 18 last year, tied for 44th in 2020. So he's getting better. He's learning the course. He said he was taught how to not play the course, how to avoid not playing the course. And now he's more in tune with what Augusta has to offer. He knows irons are his strength. He has 6 top 10 finishes and 7 starts this season. And you know what? He doesn't know much about the history of Augusta, which I think is good. Like someone asked him about Marco Mara's putt. They're like, oh, do you want to try Marco Mara's putt on 18, the one that won it? He's like, no, I don't know what the hell that is. So I kind of like it. We know he doesn't feel the pressure, the added pressure, doesn't have the added pressure of the history or the prestige of the Masters because he doesn't understand it. He already won 2 majors. 8 times he's gained 3.6 strokes or more for an event with his putter, and all 8 top 5 finishes, 3 of them wins. He's engaged to a college golfer. I don't know. You go down this rabbit hole, you look at things with these guys, and you see how they're interviewed. He handled like a champ, a very, very weird interviewer, asking him questions about his girlfriend and stuff. I like him. Colin Morikawa. 22-1, Parlay Kid. Hit us with your best bet.
Yeah, I like Morikawa, Sal. I always think he's a solid bet. He always has a chance to win, right? So, well, I'm going with the guy that is at 19-1 in Brooks Koepka here, who that shouldn't really surprise anybody. I've actually probably, unlike a lot of you, I think this is the first time I'm really ever on Kepca. So I find that kind of interesting. I'm usually off of Kepca, but look, he was a runner-up here in 2019, 7th place finish here in 2020. Last year didn't make the cut, but he's finally healthy. I think he's finally back to being healthy. In 50% of his majors he's played in his career, he's finished in the top 10. What does that tell you? For these big-time tournaments, the guy comes to play. He always elevates his play, or most of the time elevates his play in these major events. And that's when he plays his best. Look, he's taken a 3rd this year in Phoenix. He had a 12th in Tampa, 16th at the Honda Classic. He was in the quarterfinals of the match play. Nothing outstanding, but he's kind of rounding into form, and maybe he's just going to be peaking at the right time. He always plays his best in these big ones. Let's take Kepka at 19-1.
All right. I want to ask Bob Herrick about, because he writes a book about the rivalries, and I know there's more. The one we all love right now is Kepka and Bryson, and then they freaking ruined it with that. Was that the match? Was that on Thanksgiving? That was day after Thanksgiving.
That Friday, yeah. It sucked. I was so mad. I was so mad about that. They could have played this up, and instead, like that whole friendly thing.
They got to stop with that. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Will Smith and Chris Rock on the links. It'd be kind of fun, but I don't know. Not if they're going to have to make jokes and like each other. All right, Brother Bri, Cam Smith, 15-1. You wouldn't normally think it's 15-1. Then you look at his stats. It really makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think that Cam Smith is the 3rd favorite, right? But he's definitely, he probably maybe even should be the favorite. Although full disclosure, he has cost me a bunch in the past. But he's won 2 of his last 4 tournaments, including the Players Championship. which was 3 weeks ago. I know you guys won some money on that. I think you and Parlay Kid did. 3 top 10, 3 top 5 finishes, 4 top 10 finishes in his last 7 events. You said it before, Sal, but he finished 10th and 2nd in his last 2 Masters. He played well at the Players. You saw the various elements and how well he did in the rain. I know there might be a little bit of rain Thursday, but it seems like in general it's going to be dry, but it might be windy. So he does play well in the elements. His putting's been great, and as you guys know, like this is one of the hardest courses to putt at. So I think he's 2nd right now in putting. So you gotta like him. And I also like his don't give a shit attitude with that hair, whatever he's got going on there, whether it's a mullet, I don't know what he's got there, but yeah, at 15-1, I think he's a fun guy to root for.
All right, he is. All right, Harry, you're going with the favorite again, Dodgers, John Rahm. We get it here.
By the way, Brian, Sal and I had Cam Smith.
That's right. That's right. You gave that out. That's right.
Yeah. I'm going to go Rahm at 12-1. He's ranked 2nd in the world. Sal, you mentioned his last 4 finishes in the Masters, all top 10s. He's got a 2nd and 3rd place finish so far this season. He's 8th in driving distance, and he's 1st in greens and regulations, which should really allow him to take full advantage, as he usually does at Augusta, on the par 5s, especially on 13 and 15. Give me Rahm. I've always said I'm going to take him until he wins a Masters because he is well overdue. Like I said, Sal, you meant to do 4 top 10s. His last 4, I'm taking Rahm at 12-1.
I mean, this is approaching Super Bowl level, with all these props. My God, I'm looking right, Bri. We're gonna go blind. I'm gonna be up till 2:30 in the morning,
stupid,
watching this shit. But you could bet you could bet like a quartet of golfers winning. You could bet like any of these 5 winning. Man, they almost guaranteed to have someone going into Sunday. Maybe not the best odds, but that's something to look at. All right. Now let's pick a long shot. Harry, I'm sorry. I'm asking you, you can't pick the absolute favorite now when I ask for a long shot. Unless you want to take Cam Smith or something. Maybe that's a long shot to you. Who is your long shot to do this?
I'm going to ride a guy who we won a couple weeks ago with. I'm going to take Sam Burns, Sal, at 37-1, riding the hot golfer here. 2nd on tour in FedEx points so far this season.
Yep.
Like I mentioned, Burns a few weeks back defended his title, winning the Valspar Championship, and he does have a total of 2 wins on the 21-22 season in 13 tournaments this season. Sam Burns has 9 top 20s, 7 top 10s. He's 7th in birdie average, 14th in green in regulation. He shot up the ranks. He's 11th in the world rankings. Give me Sam Burns, 37-1.
Yeah, I have him later on. Actually, I'll mention it now. I have him for top U.S. golfer. Maybe it's not the best odds, but I have Sam Burns all over the place. Top U.S. is 21-1. And I think he would actually, Harry, you have him at 37 to win it. I think he'd probably be like 23 or 24-1 if this wasn't his first Masters, right? If he just, regardless of how he did, if this was his 2nd Masters, I think he'd be the one. A first timer hasn't won since was it Fuzzy Zeller? Is that what it is? 1979.
Nice.
But I don't. Whatever. I read it. I write it down. I think that's what it was. But yeah, I've won him twice this year. Won at Valspar, like you said, 12th in scoring average. He might be actually 12th in scoring average in round 1, which is pretty great. And you can get him to win round 1 at 37-1 or 37-1 for the whole tournament. So you and I are right there.
The hot golfer
with Sam Burns, right? All right, Parlay Kid, who's your long shot?
So I'm going to go with Corey Connors at 50-1. Connors, I think, is a pretty solid pick here. He's finished in the top 10 in the last 2 Masters, 10th in 2020, 8th in last year's Masters tournament. So I've always liked Connors. He has not been
the Canadians.
spectacular.
You love them.
Yeah, I do. I do love our Canadian neighbors. So why not? Look, he hasn't been spectacular this year. The best he's really done, he's had 2 11th place finishes so far this year. He's missed the cut on several occasions this year. Earlier in the year, he's made the weekend in his last 4 tournaments. So maybe he's peaking at the right time. But for a guy who's played well here the last 2 years, I think to get a guy who was 8th here last year at 50-1, and he's always a pretty steady golfer, I'll take Corey Connors.
All right. Brother Bri, you got one right around 50 to 1, 48 to 1. Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Matthew Fitzpatrick at 48 to 1. I actually I like all these golfers right in the 40ish to 1 range. I mean, those always seem to be the good ones to play in these type of tournaments. And in all honesty, it's funny. I mean, I will say, for as much golf as I watch, like every time there's a tournament on and there's one new golfer, I'm like, oh, that's what this guy looks like. I feel like I watch golf all the time. But Matthew Fitzpatrick is one of them who, honestly, I probably confuse him with about 10 other golfers who look about 12 years old. But, you know, he didn't perform well at the Players, but he rebounded nicely at Valspar, finishing 5th. But he has played really well. He's finished 12th or better in 5 of his last 6 tournaments. The Players was the only one he struggled at. And he's been, you know, he's a young kid, but he's been solid at the Masters. Finished top 50 in 6 straight, top 40 in 5 of his last 6. So I know he has I think he had a 7th place finish when he was like 21 years old, but he's got a good short game. He's top 20 in putting. So I'm going to take a little bit of a flyer here on Fitzpatrick at 48 to 1.
All right. You know, Paul Colhorst is a friend of ours, Golf Nuts, got a golf book out right now, was on Extra Points. And he pointed out that I think it's the last dozen years, half of them, the winner has been 45 to 1 or more. I think so. It's right around that stat. Yeah. So.
I think, you know, when you used to go on with House too, I think he used to a lot of those 41s always used to hit. Always used to hit. So
might just be best, Parlay Kid, to take 10 golfers in the 35 to 50 range, right? Somewhere in there.
That might be. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea.
You're going into Sunday, maybe one of them, 2 of them looking on the leaderboard there. I'm gonna throw another one in here. Louis Oosthuizen. 48 to 1. He tees off with Tiger. You look for any article on Louis and his odds. The only thing it says is that he's teeing off with Tiger. But no, couldn't you see it? Be like, well, Tiger's not the story. Louis Oosthuizen -6 in the first round. You know, in fact, the first round is kind of where he does his damage. It's probably a better bet to bet him to lead after the first round, which is 42 to 1. I mean, how many times is he in contention on after Thursday? Yeah. Runner-up in this tournament to Bubba Watson a decade ago. He has no top 10s this year, but this is when our South African neighbors, strikes 4 top 3 finishes in 4 of the past 5. He was runner-up at the 2021 PGA Championship and U.S. Open, had through 3 rounds at the Open, the British Open. He had the lead before tying for 3rd. He's a high-pressure guy. He could take it. I'm going Louis O, 48 to 1. As my long shot. All right, we're going to take a break. Then we'll be back with best value to make or miss the cut, and then some miscellaneous picks when we return. All right, we're back. We just went over winners. We went over long shot winners, and now we're going to go over to make or miss the cut. This is a fun one of mine. For many years, I would parlay a bunch of -700s to not make the cut, and I would go 3 out of 4. Sorry, to make the cut. And I've learned my lesson. I'm not doing that anymore. But individually, we could do this. Brother Bri, whoa, this is a bombshell here. You like Bryson to be watching from home on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I like the odds here. For him not to make the cut is +142. Although I do know he's made the cut in every Masters that he played in. Although he never plays that well. He's never finished inside the top 20. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Fat Bryson. I know we make fun of him, but you know he's barely played golf this last half a year, right? You know, I guess they finally diagnosed him at some point in time with a broken bone or something, some type of break in his hand. He missed the cut in the last 2 tournaments that he played in. He was knocked out early in that match play 2 weeks ago that they had. So I think just. Again, he just hasn't, you know, I think he's the type of guy who needs to be playing a lot, practicing a lot. I mean, you know how neurotic he is, right, when it comes to golf. So I think, he just hasn't been practicing or playing that much, and he hasn't played well recently. So to not make the cut of +142. I like those odds.
Yeah, you brought something up. It's interesting, and I just not complaining, but just talking about how the thousands of props FanDuel has up. How about something like guy makes the cut, but shits the bed on Saturday and Sunday? I would love to see something like that, right? Kind of like makes the cut, but then a lousy finish. I don't even know how they would do that.
Yeah, they could do some weird ones.
Makes the cut, but on Saturday and Sunday shoots 72 or higher.
Yeah, you could bet second half. You could have bet before the game, second half Kansas UNC, right? So it's kind of like the same kind of thing with some of the top golfers. All right, Parlay Kid, Cameron Champ, yes.
Yeah, Cameron Champ minus 102 to make the cut. He was tied for 19th in 2020, tied for 26th in 2021. So he's had two pretty good showings here at the Masters the last few years. He hasn't played good golf so far this year, though. In the 8 events, he has missed the cut on 4 of them. 50% is not great, especially in these lesser events. So how is he going to step up here? Well, last year in this tournament, he actually led in driving distance with 323 yards, off the tee. That's pretty darn good. And even though this course, I'm not sure how important power is in this course. I don't think it's the most important thing on this course. When you're hitting the ball 323 yards on average off the tee, it can make up for a lot of mistakes. So I think just because he's had some success here and he drives the ball really ridiculously well, like I said, number one in this field from last year, let's take him to make the cut, minus 102.
Are we talking about the same Cameron? Because I have Cameron Young to make the cut, minus 164. I'm giving Harry type odds here. Not a lot of value in minus.
A lot of Camerons.
164.
There's a lot of white guy names here, Sal. A lot of rich white guy names here.
My Cameron is second on the tour in driving distance with 320.
There you go.
39th in strokes gained. Cam Young, also 25 years old. Little theme here. Morikawa, Cam Young. Westchester, Parlay Kid, New Yorker.
Nice.
Less than a year ago, he only had like a temporary membership on the Corn Ferry Tour. He played with Zalatoris at Wake Forest. And like I said, those numbers are big. I don't know. I'm taking chances on some of these younger guys, but the yes at minus 164 for Cam Young to make the cut. All right, Harry, this one is not a Cam. Is it Cam Spaun?
Yeah.
No, it's JJ Spaun.
JJ Spaun at minus 112 to miss the cut. I think it's pretty good value considering I think this should be about minus 150 to miss the cut. He only qualified for the Masters by winning last week at the Valero Texas Open. So this will be his first ever Masters. And the stage, I think it's going to be just too much for him. He hasn't fared well as a pro at big tournaments. He missed the cut at the Players this year, shot 78, 73. Missed both times he's played at the Masters. At the Players. And was in the U.S. Open last year, shot 77, 75, missed a cut there too. Spaun, I think that, like I said, should this be 150, 160, miss a cut. On FanDuel, it's only minus 112, giving me JJ Spaun to miss the cut.
I like that one.
I like it.
All right, this is where it gets fun. The miscellaneous. Now, like I said, there's like 1,000 props on FanDuel, and they'll probably add another 1,000 by the time this posts. But Parlay Kid, I mentioned Zalatoris. You like him for top 10, right? Plus 240?
Top 10. Man, I was blown away by the way this kid played here last year. No fear. First time on the course. Really just could have just as easily won. Nice, great second place finish. Kid plays fast. I love watching him play. So far this year in 11 events, I think he's had 3 top 10 finishes. So he heads into this tournament playing pretty well. A lot of confidence, very good ball striker, good with his irons as well. Really does everything well that this course fits his game very, very well. Let's take him top 10 finish for a guy who came in second last year and was not intimidated by this course at all. Let's take the Wake Forest grad. If he graduated, I guess. Did he graduate? Well, the Wake Forest alum. Will Zalatoris.
He should have to produce a diploma or something before he tees off. All right, Harry, you have Zalatoris over Bryce Fitzpatrick minus 126. Is that his weight or is that the actual odds?
Right. Actually, listen at 175, which I find that hard to believe.
You're right.
Yeah, I know. Right. But I am going to take Zalatoris.
That means Harry is 475 pounds.
Well, I mean.
Is that what that means? I haven't taken Zalatoris over Bryce Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick is just 152nd on tour in driving distance. Last 9 rounds at Augusta hasn't shot in the 60s once. 7 straight majors for Fitzpatrick, has not cracked the top 20. Zalatoris, by the way, now 17th in driving distance. Like I said, compared to Fitzpatrick, 152. Has finished 26 or better in last 6 of 7 overall tournaments, and that includes finishing second in San Diego at the Farmers this year. Since 2020, the 25-year-old Zalatoris has been 5 majors. He has 1 missed cut, 1 withdrawal, and 2 top 8 finishes. Finished second last year in Augusta in his only Masters appearance. So give me Zalatoris at 126 over Fitzpatrick.
All right. Bri, you're doing it here with Xander. You're doing it. Wait, he's killed us so many times. Harry had him to win every major or a major, and he didn't do it.
I thought we said we were done with it.
You guys swore him off.
Bri hasn't been bitten by the Xander bug.
I have been bitten by him before, but I wasn't bitten by him this year. But I do like him at Xander at top 20 at minus 125. Now, you guys swore him off because probably at the Players Championship, right, not making the cut or whatever happened, but it's likely you guys had him to win, which, we've realized over the years, right, you can't bet Xander to win. He chokes all the time, especially in that last day. But I do think getting top 20 is a great bet. So even this year, he's finished top 20 in 6 of his 9 tournaments so far. He finished 3rd, 17th, and 2nd in his last 3 Masters. So obviously he plays great here. So I do think you're getting somewhat of a steal at minus 125 for him to finish top 20.
All right. I can't keep track. Harry, did you give us Casey yet? Top 20?
No, not yet. You want me to give it right now?
Yeah. Do it now.
Yeah, top 20. Paul Casey at plus 200. Always seems like this guy is in the mix. Hasn't played a ton so far this season, but did finish 3rd at the Players. Last 7 tournaments at the Masters, the 44-year-old has 4 top 20s, 3 top 10s, and in his last 7 overall majors, he's finished 17th or better in 5 of them. Give me Casey for top 20 at plus 200.
All right, Parlay Kid. This is Casey's 44. Really, that old? Huh? I wouldn't have thought it.
Lives in Phoenix now. Lives in Phoenix.
Parlay Kid. We had to look around for this, but the hole-in-one, everybody, it's a popular bet here because of the 16th at Augusta. The yes is minus 200. You're going against it. I like it. I like your spunk.
I always go against this one. I always go against it. And you guys sometimes don't like it because the way usually it happens is like you never really see it happen. Mm-hmm. It's just like there's like, there was a hole-in-one. Then it's like, I lost the bet. I didn't even see it. But I like this, Sal. There's been 33 in the history of this course. That's it. During this, the Masters play, I should say. 16 seems to be the hole where it happens the most. I'm banking on the fact that I'm getting plus money, plus 160 in that area for this not to come through. And again, because you're not going to see it. If it happens, it happens. But I'm betting it happened twice last year. I'm just betting on it. It doesn't happen this year. It's probably, I know it's a coin flip, but I'm getting plus money on a coin flip here, Sal. So let's take it.
All right. We're the bad guys here, Parlay Kid. I'm also going with a bet that is not popular. Tiger Woods will not make the cut at minus 112. And everybody's saying, you don't want to make that bet. You don't want to be on the wrong side of history. You know what I don't want to be on the wrong side of? I don't want to be on the wrong side of the question. Hey, did you bet against that guy who shattered his right leg last February? That's what I don't want to be on the wrong side of. I know he's only missed 1 cut in Augusta in his life, but here's a very likely scenario. Bear with me. +2 on the 6th hole Friday. He decides to call it quits. He can't walk the course. He knows it's an uphill battle from there. He's not going to win. He sees all these young bucks lapping him, decides to stop. And then everybody deems him a hero for making it that far. And that'll be a nice enough story. So this is my don't pass, no buzzer beater bet. I'm taking it. Everyone can hate me, but Tiger Woods is not making the cut. Minus 112. You can bank it. Sorry.
Trevor is not going to like that.
Don't mind that at all, Sal.
Trevor and millions of others are not going to like it.
Sal,
and
I love it. I like what you're doing there. I'm on that too. Let's do it.
Good. Let's do it. Why not? Why not? What's the guy going to do for?
Does he finish on Friday, like you said, Sal? If he's down 7 or 8 by then, and then just says, and it just blames him not being able to walk the course on Friday. I mean, is it going to be like, or does he finish even?
Yeah, it feels like he's doing more damage.
This is my thing: the hate for Coach K, the hate for guys like that. Was no proof that they're bad people. There's some proof that Tiger Woods has done some pretty damn bad things in his life. Yeah. People, why does everybody have to root for this guy all the time?
Derek Jeter too.
Oh, see, again, there's no proof. Come on.
Yeah, go Coach Duke, Tiger Woods. You're not going to make the cut.
Right. Exactly.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. Well, you're with me. I don't know where it goes, but Tiger's not making it. I know everyone's going to hate me. My God, you can't talk bad about, Michael J. Fox. Makes sense. Ukraine. All right. Tiger Woods. Those are the big three, I think. So.